When would the wedding... When would the wedding take place, in your mind?
Can't remember.
It has been said many times that Hollywood is out of ideas. Let's go ahead and add Broadway to that list. It has been said many times that Hollywood is out of ideas. Let's go ahead and add Broadway to that list. You literally could not make this headline up from The Hollywood Reporter. Game of Thrones play in the works for Broadway will revive iconic characters. And here's one that should send Nerdrotic right off the deep end, along with anyone else who was a fan of the Game of Thrones books and hope for a conclusion. George R.R. Martin is developing a live stage play spectacular for Broadway, West End, and Australia that will bring fan favorites like Ned Stark and Jaime Lannister back to life, while dramatizing a legendary event in Westeros history. Part of me was expecting them to say this was going to be a musical too. All right, let's run with it, seriously. A dramatic stage show, spectacular, based on George R.R. Martin's fantasy world is now in development. And again, this is being reported by The Hollywood Reporter, not We've Got This Covered. The play is from producers Simon Painter and Tim Lawson, producers for The Illusionists, in a partnership with Kilborn Live, and we'll have a story. And we'll have a story by Martin, who is working alongside award-winning playwright Duncan Macmillan and acclaimed director Dominic Cook. The team's goal is to debut productions in New York City, London's West End, and of course Down Under. The first show is expected to launch in 2023. So place your bets, folks. You're never going to see Winds of Winter. Have they chained George R.R. Martin to a desk with these guys literally keeping him in a chokehold to write this? Because if not, this damn play will never happen either. The article talks about how there have been a number of prequels attached to George R.R. Martin in Game of Thrones. That show on HBO obviously ended back in 2019, but somehow it makes sense that they're going to bring back all of the characters that were killed in that series to Broadway. And remember, George just signed a 5-year deal with HBO to make a whole bunch of other stuff. Here is where we read between the lines. It says this play doesn't even have a name yet. How much do you want to bet nothing is even written yet, for real? The as yet unentitled play is set during a pivotal moment in Westeros history, the Great Tourney at Harrenhal, a contest that took place just 16 years before the events that occurred in the Game of Thrones books. Quote, it will feature many of the most iconic and well-known characters from the series, and the production will boast a story centered around love, vengeance, madness, and the dangers of dealing in prophecy, and in the process reveal secrets and lies that have only been hinted at until now, unquote. You mean like the lie that Winds of Winter will ever be finished? How about that one? Does anyone have any interest or goodwill left toward Game of Thrones the way they ended it, the way it went those last couple seasons with HBO? The article goes on to talk about how, J.K. Rowling did this after the conclusion of the Harry Potter saga, and the show there, which was obviously Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The difference being is that J.K. Rowling actually finished her series, something that Martin has yet to do. And let's just say it, he never will. If you're interested in it, I suggest you look at the article and take a look at the pedigree of some of those involved, such as the writer, the producer, the director of this stage play, this teenage angst foreshadowing Broadway play that George R.R. Martin has so much time to work on. Why this is interesting comes on the news that we got recently, how he was committing to yet other projects related to this for HBO. However, this is not affiliated with HBO in any way. So once again, they're repeating that House of the Dragon is expected to premiere sometime next year, and there are at least 5 other Martin projects that are in stages of development for HBO and HBOMax. And in his spare time, you're going to find George R.R. Martin hanging around Broadway, making whatever the hell this is. Someone tell me this is an April Fool's joke. I'll believe it. I mean, seriously. I'm just speechless. Would you go see a George R.R. Martin play that was a recycling of the history of Westeros, essentially predicated upon the idea of Ned and Jaime being teenagers at a tournament? Would you go and see something like that? Tell me in the comments below. I literally have no F's to give about any of this. I don't have a horse in this race. I'm Corey B, and this is Salty Salish C. For real, he is never going to finish The Winds of Winter.